Imagine a girl born into splendor, dressed in silks, raised among chandeliers, destined to rule a kingdom. Imagine her laughter echoing through palaces, her beauty envied by all of Europe. Now imagine that same girl, jeered at by a furious mob, humiliated in a cold prison cell, and finally executed before thousands who once cheered her name. This is the story of Marie Antoinette, the last queen of France. A woman both adored and despised. A woman who became the face of extravagance, betrayal, and downfall. But beneath the silks and jewels was a human being, a daughter, a wife, a mother, trapped in a storm of history she could not control. Some say she was cursed from the moment she left her homeland. Others believe she herself called her own doom. Tonight we unravel her tragic fate, a tale of beauty, scandal, and the guillotine's final kiss. Chapter 1. A princess is born Marie. Antoinette was born in Vienna in 1755, the youngest daughter of Empress Maria Theresa of Austria, one of Europe's most powerful rulers. Vienna was a city of music and grace. The young Marie grew up surrounded by Mozart's melodies, lavish balls, and strict court etiquette. Yet she was carefree, playful, even reckless at times. She loved dancing, singing, and games more than lessons and politics. But in royal courts, daughters were pawns. They were tools for alliances, bargaining chips for power. And Marie, with her radiant smile and golden hair, was destined to become a prize. At just 14 years old, she was chosen for one of the most important marriages of the century, to the heir of France, the Dauphin Louis, grandson of King Louis XV. Her mother believed this union would seal peace between Austria and France, two nations long at odds. But for Marie, it meant leaving everything behind. The moment she crossed the border, she was stripped of her Austrian clothes, her childhood belongings, even her name. She was reborn as the future Queen of France. Some whispered that day that fate itself placed a shadow over her, for the girl who left Austria would never return home again. Chapter 2. The young Dauphine, when Marie arrived at Versailles, she was just 15, shy, beautiful, and hopelessly unprepared for the snake pit she was about to enter. Versailles was dazzling. Gold hallways, endless gardens, thousands of courtiers. But beneath the glitter lay jealousy, gossip, and constant judgment. Marie's marriage to Louis was awkward. He was timid, bookish, obsessed with hunting and locks, and painfully shy with women. Their marriage remained unconsummated for 7 long years. At court, this became scandal. Whispers followed her everywhere. The barren Austrian, the foreign child who cannot give France an heir. Lonely and humiliated, Marie Antoinette turned to pleasure. She loved extravagant dresses, towering hairstyles, gambling, and late-night balls. She sought escape from her isolation, but the French people saw only excess. Every gown, every diamond, every lavish party became a symbol of waste. Pamphlets circulated depicting her as a harlot, a conspirator, even accusing her of scandalous affairs. She was mocked in vicious cartoons, the foreign queen who bled France dry. What history often forgets is that she was just a teenager, caught in a loveless marriage, desperate for joy. Yet to her people, she was already the villain. The curse had begun to tighten its grip. Chapter 3. Queen of France, the Mask of Extravagance. In 1774, fate shifted. Louis XV died of smallpox, and his grandson ascended the throne as King Louis XV. At just 19 years old, Marie Antoinette became Queen of France. The people initially adored her beauty and youth. She was called the Fair Austrian, a dazzling jewel in the French crown. But soon admiration turned to resentment. She had at last given birth to children, ending years of mockery. Yet her reputation had already been stained by years of gossip. France, meanwhile, was drowning in debt. Wars, corruption, and mismanagement bled the treasury dry. But instead of blaming their king or nobles, the public turned their rage on Marie Antoinette. She was called Madame Deficit. Every necklace, every ball, every gown was seen as proof that the queen cared more for pleasure than her starving people. The diamond necklace affair sealed her fate. In 1785, a scandal erupted involving a stolen diamond necklace worth millions. Marie was falsely accused of conspiring to obtain it through deceit. Though innocent, the trial and rumors ruined her reputation forever. Then came the myth, let them eat cake. The people claimed she mocked the starving masses, suggesting they feast on pastries instead of bread. In truth, she never said it. But once the word spread, there was no turning back. The image of Marie Antoinette as a heartless, arrogant queen was set in stone. The curse was now irreversible. Chapter 4. The revolution unleashed by the late 1780s, France was collapsing. Crops failed, famine spread, taxes crushed the poor. Anger boiled in every city street. In 1789, the storm broke. The people rose. The Bastille fell. The French Revolution had begun. At Versailles, the mob turned their fury on the royal family. One October night, thousands stormed the palace. They murdered guards, dragged the royal family from their chambers, and forced them to Paris. No longer rulers, the king and queen became prisoners of their own subjects. From that moment, Marie Antoinette was hated not as a woman, but as a symbol of tyranny. Her Austrian blood made her a traitor in the eyes of the people. Desperate, the royal family tried to flee. In 1791, they attempted the flight to Varennes, a secret escape to the Austrian border. But they were caught, recognized, and dragged back to Paris in chains. To the revolutionaries, this was proof of treason, proof that their queen had betrayed them. From that night, her fate was sealed. The curse was nearly complete. Chapter 5. Prisoner of the Revolution in 1792, the monarchy was abolished. The royal family was thrown into the Temple prison. Louis XVIII faced trial first. In January 1793, he was executed by guillotine. The crowd roared as the blade fell. Marie Antoinette, now a widow at 37, was left alone with her children, but her suffering had only begun. Her young son, the Dauphin, was taken away. Revolutionaries brainwashed and abused him until he accused his own mother of incest. The accusation broke her, but she endured with dignity. She was dragged before a revolutionary tribunal, charged with treason, theft, and corruption. The trial was a farce. She had no real defense. The verdict was inevitable. When accused of incest with her son, she rose and spoke with courage. Nature refuses to answer such a charge made against a mother. Her words silenced even her enemies. Yet mercy was not in their hearts. The sentence was death. Chapter 6. The final walk on the morning of October 16, 1793. Marie Antoinette prepared for her last journey. Her long hair was cut short. She dressed in plain white, the color of mourning for widows. Bound and placed in a simple cart, she was paraded through Paris. Thousands lined the streets, screaming insults, spitting, cursing. She sat straight, pale but composed. Witnesses noted her dignity, her refusal to cry. At the Place de la Révolution, she climbed the scaffold. She accidentally stepped on her executioner's foot and whispered her final words. "Pardon me, sir, I did not mean to do it." Moments later, the blade fell. Marie Antoinette, once the most powerful woman in Europe, was no more. Conclusion. The curse lives on. Her body was thrown into an unmarked grave. Her name cursed for generations, yet history has softened. Today, many see not a monster, but a tragic figure. A young girl forced into power she never asked for. A queen crushed beneath the weight of a crumbling kingdom. Her story is one of contrasts. Extravagance and suffering. Power and helplessness, splendor and blood. Marie Antoinette did not truly curse France. She was herself cursed by politics, by scandal, by history. Her fate is a reminder of a timeless truth. A crown may glitter with diamonds, but often it carries the sharp edge of steel. And for Marie Antoinette, that crown ended beneath the guillotine.